Hello, BW, and welcome to Better Woman Wednesday. Yes, this is something that we are launching in 2022, and let me tell you that I am so excited about it. I have some awesome women who are going to be coming on board with me, and they are going to be helping me bring to you the Better Woman Wednesdays, okay? So make sure you click like, make sure you click share, and also make sure you invite a friend to the group. So let's get straight into today's. And like I said, every video is designed to inspire, to encourage, to uplift, and to propel you to be the best version of yourself that you can be. So of course, we starting the year off with a motivational topic called Better Up. Yep, Better Up. That's what we're doing in 2022. As a Better Woman group, we bettering up. And yeah, it's the same as level up. And because when you think about in the gaming world, every time they try to make it to the next level, they tell you to level up. And, you know, I may be telling my age now, but when I grew up, I used to have an Atari, and one of my favorite games was Pac-Man. And the whole goal of Pac-Man was to eat those little pellets. But in order for him to make it to the next level, he had to defeat the ghosts. He had to defeat the ghosts by eating the ghosts. And so in the real world, in order for us to level up, we're going to have to eat the ghosts. And what I mean by eating the ghosts, anything or anybody that is distracting us or disturbing our peace or keeping us from reaching our goal, we got to eat the ghost, baby. Because at the end of the day, we are going to have to better up. So in order to better up, we eating the ghost. We're taking away and we ridding ourselves of anything that's keeping us from going to that next level. And so I want to quickly share with you just 4 quick principles that I think that's going to be very beneficial to us in bettering up to that next level. And the first principle that, and I do this every year. If y'all notice, we started this in 2018. And so in 2018, we are trying to work on every area of our lives, okay? We're trying to take every area up to the next level, whether it be our finances, whether it be our health, our physical health, our mental health, whether it be our relationship with our spouses, our relationship with our kids, our relationship with our parents, with our jobs, businesses. You know, whatever that is, we are trying to take it to the next level. But every year, I tell y'all at the beginning of the year, just hone in on 2. We have so many areas we need to work on, but some are more important than others. That's why I said we have to first see God and ask him, what area do you want me to work on first? And the thing about asking God what area we need to work on first, when he show us what we need to work on, trust me, it's going to help us and it's going to align with whatever our divine assignment is in life. And so, you know, we may think we need help with our finances when God's telling us, no, boo, in this season, you need to work on your attitude. Or we may think, hey, I need to be working on my marriage with my spouse or with my parents. And God may say, no, you ain't even got your relationship right with your spouse. Get that right first. Start in the home first. And so always let's seek God first whenever we're trying to do. So in 2022, we are honing in on 2 things to work on, 2 areas in our life that we're going to work on. And we're seeking God for that guidance on what we need to work on. So that's the first step. We're seeking God and we're going to get clarity on the 2 areas that we're going to be honing in on in 2022. Once we get those 2 areas, once God make that clarion call and make it clear to us and illuminate to us what we need to work on, what we're going to do, we're going to set goals. And when we set those goals, it's not going to just be goals in our mind. We're going to actually write those goals out on paper. And something about writing it out, because I hate writing out goals, but let me tell you, it's so very beneficial when you can write it out in black and white. And whether it's a vision board, whether it's on your laptop or your tablet or your phone, or whether it's just a sheet of paper, make sure it's somewhere where you have access to it, where you can be able to see it every single day, because being able to look at your goals, to look at your vision, to look at where you're trying to go, something about seeing it in writing makes you more prone and more apt to do that thing. Okay, so we're writing out our goals. But let me say this before I get into strategy. When we write out our goals need to be SMART goals. And what I mean by SMART is an acronym. And it stands for S is for specific, M is for measurable, A is for achievable, R is for relevant, and T is for time. when we are writing out our goals have to be SMART goals, okay? And let me explain to you why. Because when our goals, let's start with the S. When our goals are specific, then we will be able to do the second step of that acronym, which is measure those goals. So let me give you an example. I may say in 2022, I want to lose weight, okay? So how am I really going to measure that at the end of 2022? So I don't want to just write down, I want to lose weight in 2022. I want to save money in 2022. No, I want to be specific. In 2022, I want to lose 50 pounds. In 2022, I want to save $5,000. In 2022, I want to start counseling at so-and-so place with this particular counselor. We need to write it out and be as specific as we can be about that goal. So make sure that we're specific. And then the next step is measurable, because again, you don't want it generalized, because at the end of the year, and for some people, the goal may not take a whole year. It may take 3 months. It may take 6 months. It may take 2 weeks. But at the end of the day, you want to be able to measure that goal to see if you perhaps achieve your goal. You may have surpassed the goal that you want to achieve. You may want to lose 50 pounds and lose 55. Or you may have just lost 30. So then you can go back, look at what you did, and then you can tweak that thing to make it better in 2023 or the next 6 months or the next 3 months, whatever your time frame is. But you always want to go back and be able to measure it, because in measuring it, you are able to see your progress. Okay. So make sure they're specific. Make sure it's measurable when you write it out, that you can go back and measure. And then the A, make sure it's achievable. So many times we set goals in life that's not even achievable. Just like for me, for weight loss, I'm not going to put on my goal or my vision board, I want to lose 100 pounds, because I know that's not achievable. I'm not going to write, I want to exercise 7 days a week. I know I don't have 7 days a week to exercise. I know I'm not going to put, I want to save $100,000. Where I'm getting that money from? Okay, that's not achievable. So you want to do something that's achievable. I want to exercise at least 2 days a week. I want to save at least $100 a month. Okay. I want to be kind to my spouse for 30 days. I want to reach out to somebody I haven't talked to since 2020. I want to make a phone call and reach out to them by the end of the week. I'm being specific and I'm measuring it. Okay. So we want to be specific, but we want to make sure it's something that we're able to do, because a lot of times we set goals that's not reachable, and then we realize that, and then of course it's sort of disappointing when we don't do it. And then the R stands for relevant. Okay, that's why we need to make sure that we ask God first those areas that we need to work on, because it needs to be relevant, not only relevant just to be setting goals, but relevant to where God is trying to lead us in life. Okay. Just say, for instance, if I'm a patient in a hospital and I fell and I broke my leg, but they x-rayed my arm. That test on my arm is irrelevant. How is having a test on my arm going to show you what's going on with my leg? Okay. And it's the same thing. If you're trying to set a goal that's not even relevant to your purpose or your plan that God has you on, then what's the point? Okay. Of trying to achieve a goal that's not kingdom anyway. Okay, so we need to make sure it's relevant. That's why we asking God to make sure we're in alignment with what He wants for us and not just what we want for ourselves. Okay, so specific, measurable, achievable, then relevant. And then the last thing, which is so very important, is time. Make sure we put a time frame on the goal we're trying to achieve. I want to lose weight in 6 months. I want to save $1,000 by the end of the year. I want to find a counselor by the end of the week or in 2 weeks. I want to reach out to that family member by so-and-so date. Okay. Whatever that goal is, I want to complete my book in 6 months. I want to build that website in 30 days. I want to begin working on my business plan in 3 weeks. Make sure you have a time frame, because again, when I was talking about those goals, if you don't have a time frame, it's easy for the ghosts to come in and throw a ricochet in whatever plan you have if you don't have a time frame in mind. Just like now, if you go to your car and you planning on taking a trip, say for instance, you're trying to go to St. Louis. You put in the destination, it's telling you to go on I-55, but it don't even tell you what time you're going to get there. You know, most navigations say you have 3 hours and 45 minutes. You have 10 hours and 21 minutes. It gives you a time frame on when you're going to reach your destination. You need to give yourself a time frame of when you want to reach your destination, when you want to meet this goal by. What is your time frame? Because again, the ghosts are coming. Let me tell you, Casper is right around the corner. So make sure you give yourself a time frame. I'm going to give you an example. My husband and I, for the holidays, for the Christmas holidays, we decided that we was going to go to his sister's house in California. Our original plan, even though we ended up flying, our original plan was to drive to California. Now, when we drive, we don't drive straight. That's a 2-day drive. It takes 24 hours to get to California. So that's 2 days. So, of course, we're not driving 24 hours straight. So we were going to leave on the 21st, and we were giving ourselves 4 days to reach Los Angeles. We wanted to be at our sister-in-law house by 8 a.m. December the 21st. That was our time frame. That was our goal. It was specific. It was measurable. It was achievable. It was relevant for what we was trying to do at the holidays, and we had a time frame. Leaving on the 21st, arrive at our destination by the 25th. Now, my daughter, who was going to go to Vegas for her birthday, which her birthday was on the 16th, she said, hey, I'll be in Vegas for my birthday. On your way to California, stop and get me, and then I'll ride on to California with you guys. Okay. We have to go through Vegas to get to California, the route that we take. So that was still going to keep us on our time frame. No ghost here, no Casper here. Okay. But what if she was in North Carolina and she said, hey, mom and dad, I need y'all to pick me up in North Carolina, then let me drive to California with you? Our answer probably would have been, no, ma'am, Pam, we're not doing that. Why? Because we had a time frame set in mind. We had a date in time. If we were going to North Carolina, that's the opposite direction. Vegas is in our route. North Carolina going east, we headed west, so we can't do that. So when you know where you're trying to go and you know the time frame that you have set, it won't be easy for people to just come in and, like I said, mess up your plans and mess up your goals because you have that time frame in mind. So that's why setting a time frame is just so important. I want to buy a house. Okay, by when? 2022, 2023, 2024. What is the time frame you want to buy a house? Because if you don't give yourself a time frame, you're just going to keep talking but no doing. Okay. So that's so important. So we're setting goals. We're making sure we're writing them. And then once we write down our SMART goals, okay, then we got to come up with the strategy. And we're going to also write down our strategy. How am I going to achieve that goal? How am I going to write that book? Who's going to be the publisher? What business do I want to start? Write down that business plan. You know, what is the strategy to me losing weight? Am I doing kickboxing? Am I doing yoga? Am I running? Am I walking? What am I doing? What is my plan to achieve my goal? I'm trying to save money. What is my budget looking like? I'm writing that down. If I'm trying to save $100 a month, how much do I need to save every pay period? Okay, I get paid twice a week. That means I need to save $50. We put it in writing and we being specific. Okay. So we're going to write down a strategy because that's going to be so important. Whenever you have a goal, you have to have a strategy of how you're going to achieve that goal. You'll never find a basketball player who's going to go on a court without a plan. You're never going to find a football player who's going to go to the field without a plan. You're never going to find a soldier going on the battlefield without a strategic plan. So you have to have strategy, okay, to achieve that goal. And again, just like we putting that goal in writing, we're putting our strategies in writing. And then the next thing we want to do, which is so vital to achieving our goals, is we want to manage our time wisely. If we are honest with ourselves, we waste a whole lot of time, whether it's watching TV, whether it's on social media. I know I'm guilty of that. Whether it's on the phone gossiping, trying to mind somebody else's business other than our own business. We waste a lot of time. And if you sit back and you think about it, man, I spent 2 hours on the phone. I spent 2 hours on Facebook. I spent 2 hours on TikTok. Do you know what you can do in 2 hours? Do you know you could go exercise and start on a book within 2 hours? Okay, so it's so much. It was funny the other night. I was watching TikTok and I heard this young lady was talking about Lamborghini, and somebody was doing a interview with the owner of the guy who owns Lamborghini. And they asked him, why is it you don't advertise your cars on TV? We never see any commercials about Lamborghinis. Why is that? He said, because my customer base ain't watching TV. Okay? I'm going to let that saute, and that's going to catch up with you in a minute. Lamborghini, the owner said, we don't advertise on TV because our customer base ain't sitting in front of no TV watching it. Okay? That says a whole lot. Okay? So we need to manage our time. And then I got two more things, and I'm going to end this video. The next thing, not only managing our time, because anytime when you're talking about managed time, anytime you're trying to set goals, you have to make time for those goals. If I'm talking about losing weight, I got to make that time to exercise. I got to make time for that meal preparations. If I'm talking about saving, I got to make that time to sit down and plan out my budget. If I'm talking about writing a book, I got to have the time to sit down and write the outline, to write the chapters. If I'm trying to start a business, I got to take the time to buy inventory, to do whatever I need to do to get that business started. So managing time is going to be so critical to bettering up. Again, it's all about bettering up. We're trying to better up to level up, okay? And then being intentional. So once we have our goals in mind and we know God has given us a clear vision of what he wants us to work on, we have to wake up every day with the intention of doing just that. If you're trying to be that better wife, if you're trying to better up your relationship, maybe that's your goal for 2022. You got to wake up every day with the intentional of being the best wife or the best mate that you can possibly be to your spouse or to your partner. If your goal is having a better relationship with your kids, you have to be intentional about doing it. Nothing happens by happenstance. Nothing happened by happenstance. Everything you do has to be intentional if you are trying to reach your goals. So managing our time and being intentional. And then that takes me to my very last point. And then we're going to close on this. The very last thing is last, but let me say it's not least. And this is really going to be the key to us bettering up. And that's consistency. I'm going to say that one more time real slow. Consistency. Okay? Say that word with me. Consistency. That needs to be our word for 2022. Consistency. We have to be consistent. Whatever strategy we set, we got to be consistent. Because see, a lot of times the problem ain't setting goals. We real good at that, especially at the new year. Everybody making New Year's resolutions. Everybody setting goals. Everybody got plans. Everybody got dreams. So we don't have a problem with goal setting. We don't even have a problem with strategy if we're honest. Our goal is being consistent in our strategies. If our strategy is to exercise 3 days a week, we may exercise all of January and February. Come March, we just fall off the radar. Okay, so whatever it is, we have to have a made up mind. We're going to see this thing through to December of 2022. If the Lord bless us to live to see December 2022, we have to be consistent. I don't care if it's every 3 days, if it's every week. If you said I'm going to save once a week, then be consistent in that once a week. If I'm going to exercise 1 day a week, be consistent in that 1 day a week. I'm going to work on my book every Thursday. Be consistent in doing it every Thursday. Just be consistent. That's all you have to do. And I'm gonna end on this note with this story. There was a story of an old man. And this old man, he was sick, he was feeble, and he was basically skiing, just laying on top of bone. And so he cried out to the Lord one day. He said, Lord, I need your strength. I'm tired, I'm old, and I'm feeble. I just need strength. So God said, I noticed there's a big boulder rock in front of your house. Every day, I need you to be consistent, and I need you to go out there, and I need you to push that rock. And so every day, for 9 months, the man went out and he pushed the rock. He pushed the rock. He pushed the rock. He would go out there morning, noon, and night. He pushing the rock morning, noon, and night. And he was consistent in that. He did that for 9 months. Finally, after 9 months, the man pushed the rock and he looked. He said, I've been pushing this rock for 9 months and this rock ain't moved anywhere. So he yelled out to God, God, why did you have me to come out here and push on this rock? I've been doing it for 9 months and it haven't moved. So God told him, I never told you to move the rock. I told you to push the rock and to be consistent in pushing the rock. So the man, he wasn't hearing him. He just kept on complaining. But why would you have me pushing the rock and the rock ain't going nowhere? God said, your prayer was never to move the rock. Your prayer was for strength. So what I need for you to do, I need you to go and I need you to look in the mirror. So the man walked in the house and he's still just murmuring and complaining. You know, we're good at that, right? So he just murmuring and complaining. He goes in and he look in the mirror and his whole top of his body has been transformed. The skin that used to be laying on top of bone is now muscle. He's built. No longer is he weak. No longer is he feeble. Why? Because he was consistent in doing what God told him to do, which was to push that rock. And he never asked God to move the rock. His prayer was for strength, and that's exactly what happened. But it happened because of his consistency. Why am I telling you this story? Because if we're consistent in our strategy for reaching our goals, if we keep pushing, BW, just like that man was transformed, we are going to be transformed into better women and better wives, which have been our journey since 2018. So I pray that this message has helped you today. I pray that you continue to tune in to our Better Woman Wednesdays. I pray that you share this with somebody, that you like the video, that you share the video, and you invite somebody to the group so it can be a blessing to them too. So that's all I have for you this morning. I want to say again, happy Wednesday to you. Be blessed, but more importantly, better up.